Hey everyone, this is Cameron. I am joined today on this episode with my good friend PK Simone. He is a multi-hyphenate in this entertainment industry, writer, producer, actor, working both in post as well as in front of the camera. Some of his credits include being in the Amazon Prime series Countdown. He is also the creator of the sketch comedy series The Red Rob Roy Show. PK grew up in a household of dancers, and when he was little, he was even dancing himself. In addition, we talk everything from comedy, storytelling, being in front of the camera and behind the camera, and everything in between, finding your own space in the entertainment industry. So without further ado, without me babbling on and on, let's talk. Enjoy. Earlier this year, I took a hike around Mount Baldy.
Okay.
And it was beautiful. I mean, there was still snow on the ground.
Yeah.
And I thought it was so crazy. I mean, everyone I was with, Danny, who you met, he was with, and Delaney, we were both on this hike, and it was crazy. Like, we're here in LA, and you drive an hour outside of it, and you're in snow-capped mountains.
Yeah.
And you're just like, where else can you live that has that?
Right.
You know? And that kind of really struck me when I first moved here. I was like, oh my God, you can kind of build your own paradise in some way.
Yeah.
You can find what you want.
Yes, that's exactly what LA is. That's what I found too. I was like, because I'm an East Coast kid, so I was living all around New England, and after college, it was New York or LA.
Right.
For me. And I actually had a ton more contacts in New York than I did. I didn't know anyone out here. But I was just so done with winter that I was like, I need to check out the sunshine.
Yeah.
So I had a buddy who was coming out here with me, and we moved into Venice together.
Nice.
And that's because I knew New York well, but I didn't know LA at all. And New York, it's like anything you want is accessible. You know,
Anything
you just it's all there. Everyone's doing it. Everything's so compressed in that city.
Mm-hmm.
LA has everything you want, but you have to seek it out. You just have to like build your life, know where the things are, and find it.
Yeah.
And whatever that is, you'll find it in LA. You know, and art wise, this was told to me by a comedian friend, which I think is pretty on point. You know, in New York, you're in a shitty little apartment, and you're just like trying to get out of that apartment. You go to New York to go out and build your craft. Mm-hmm. You come to LA to sell your craft. And I find that true no matter what level you're at, because obviously you can still work on whatever it is you're doing here.
Yeah.
But it's like you're just hustling so hard over there. And I came out here and I found that East Coast hustle to be true. I had that still, and a lot of people didn't. And it wasn't that like every West Coast person didn't have a hustle.
Of course.
But there were a lot of people out here just trying to play the money game, not trying to play the hustle game.
Well, I think also East Coast, West Coast, there's just a different approach to it. You know,
Yeah.
it's funny. You were talking. I'm like, it sounds like me. Because, you know, I'm from Philly. You know, we have a certain way of doing things. I got sick and tired of the cold all the time. I knew a whole lot more people in New York than LA. But luckily I did know a few people, so that's why I was able to come here and just kind of check it out and stay with friends and get my footing. But it's so interesting, you know, there is a certain benefit to being from the East Coast when you come here, because a lot of it is blinders there.
Yeah.
A lot of it is I got to go somewhere.
Yep.
And I got to be someone at some place, and not that it is not people who are from here don't have that, but it's just a different. It's slightly different culture, even though it's the same country.
Yeah, it's colder, both temperature wise and like emotionally. You know, like
but not lacking love, not lacking like heart.
Some people. Yeah. No, I think it's there. There's heart
there
on the East Coast, definitely.
Yeah.
But like, I just find there's so much more walls up. You know, like that's the thing. You
Yeah.
know, like I came here with this shield that I'm just used to having. You know, going out to a bar or just going out in the city, like. I don't trust you until I know you.
Right.
You know, like you bump shoulders with someone at a bar and that could mean something bad is coming, you know? Whereas out here, it's like, oh, excuse me, I'm sorry.
Oh, so sorry.
It's, wait, that's what I had to learn.
A lot of it is,
here.
but there is a shield out here, but it's more of like the facade of kind of like, we're nice, you know, like we're getting along together, but there is still that like barrier.
Yeah.
It's different. It's a different type of it's like the same thing, but it's just, it looks different.
Yeah.
That's what I've noticed when I came
What
up
does
here.
it say? What do they say? It's like East Coast is nice people pretending to be mean and West Coast is mean people pretending to be nice. It's like, there's just.
Well, I don't know.
Different.
I mean, I think also it's so subjective. It's so case sensitive for people who move out here. I know people who have come out here and they just hit the ground running and it's like, oh, I loved it.
Yeah.
And then people who come out here and they try to do the exact same thing and it, you know, they think, oh my God, this is the worst place in the world.
Yeah.
You know, you get everything. And I think that just goes towards people's perspectives, you know, how they go about doing things, who they know or who they try to, you know, be around. I think so much about living in a big city is who you have around you.
Definitely.
I think that is huge. And, you know, you are kind of the amalgamation of like the 10 people that you spend the most time with. And I find that to be true out here as it would be in New York. You know, it really is like that tribe that you build. And that's so important. And the more and more that I keep talking to people, you know, in this industry, they always say the same thing. It's like, find the people that you work with. Yeah. And then do the thing, you know? Find the people that you like to work with who can also do all the different things that you want to do as well.
Yeah.
You know?
Or fill in the gaps so that you don't do.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, you know, Danny Mooney, he's a director, highly talented, both in front and behind the camera. You know, he understands the studio system. He understands the indie world. You know, he knows how to edit. He knows, you know, all the technical things. Like, he almost became, he went to school to be an engineer first before going into theater.
Yep.
So he has a technical mind. And, you know, once I started working with him, I didn't realize at first. But then as I started seeing, I'm like, yeah, this guy, yeah, he can do so many things that I can't do.
Yeah.
And, you know, I was just texting with him today, like, you know, I'm just so happy that you came on board and brought your network and I brought my network and we're able to make, you know, Sandpaper.
Yeah, it was so good. It was so clear that was true about him and you. I found that, you know, I'm a DP, I'm an editor. I was saying this to Annie, our teacher, like, we as people who understand that stuff can't help but get sucked into that thinking when you're watching something.
Right.
It's like I'm constantly analyzing. And my gauge for knowing how something is good is if I'm not doing that. And I wasn't doing that with your movie. I was just sucked into the story because I didn't have to worry about it. And that's the beauty of editing. Is something that you don't want to. The most beautiful editing is done so that you don't pay attention to it. Right. You know, you just enjoy it and you don't know why. And I just found that with Sandpaper, it was like, and I'm very curious as to like what a lot of those scenes were like shooting them. You know, a lot of handheld stuff, a lot of really talented movements.
A lot of handheld.
But how much of that was planned? How much of that was like, hey, we're gonna have this scene and just start looking around and seeing what the angles are, and like, was there a lot of improv there in terms of the camera work?
So the way I'm gonna start answering this question would be, we had a really great DP working with a really talented director, who had both been wearing a lot of different hats throughout their careers, and who understand a more complex and a lot more nuanced and rounded, you know, world and how things are made. And both of them were able to, luckily, get to the locations, scope them out, see where angles could be. They mapped it out, what lenses they needed to do. So they did a lot of front end work, along with me, because I was coordinating the whole thing as well, and I was in the loop. But there was also, juxtaposed with that, when we're on set, there was tons of times in which they were doing something. It's like, hey, let's try this. Hey, let's float a lens. Hey, we need to find this shot. Because I don't know if you remember the one scene, all the scenes that were in that big studio. There was the audition scene, and then there was the talk with the artistic director near the end. There are mirrors on every single wall. And so you had moments throughout the whole shooting of those scenes in which it was Benji with the camera, with Danny behind him with a handheld monitor, and the boom op behind him, right? And so we had like this line, and they were lined up within just
wow.
They were really threading a needle there in order to stay out of, they found like a little gap in the mirror, and they were like, okay, we can't move from here. And there's so many times that they would pan and be like, oh, we can't go that far, so how can we change this? So we would find all sorts of different ways to play with the space, but still not have them being seen.
Wow.
So that was a hard place to shoot. And an RA camera is not light.
Right.
It's small.
Right.
But once you have the rig on and you're holding that thing for 12 hours a day, you have to be in some serious shape.
Yeah.
And he's like on the ground, he's standing up, he's on a ladder, he's doing all these things. And yeah, it's just gymnastics with and not only physically but also mentally.
Yep.
You're thinking about angles, you're thinking about the edit, you're thinking about all these things. So to go back to your question, we had some very specialized people doing the work foremost.
Clearly.
So that they knew when to stay on target for what was talked about beforehand in pre-production, and then also being able to go off script when need be.
Yep.
So it's both of those things.
Yeah. What's cool is dance is obviously so much about choreography, but so is camera work and blocking. And especially with handheld, which I love about handheld, when you're a camera operator, because I've been on the camera side as well as the acting side, with an actor for a scene, it is absolutely a dance. You are being led. One is following the other.
Yep.
You are anticipating movement. You are staying up with movement. You are improvising. You are working together at the same time, and in this case, not touching each other.
Right.
It's so cool,
cool.
when really good operation happens like that, because you start to just understand the other person's movements, and everyone's different. But as an operator, when I'm doing it, if there's some sort of movement like a dance or something from the actor,
Right.
they're like, was that too fast? Was that too slow? It's like, no. I follow you. You're leading this. It's you do you, and I'm going to find you. And then you start to just feel each other, and then you find those moments. And I think that's so cool. And it absolutely translated in your film. It was really, really cool to watch.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I'm just grateful. I had such a talented cast and crew to kind of tell the story as well. Just being able to be on set and do all the work in pre-production and have that done so that I could just walk on as the actor.
Yeah.
And have my department heads just do their work.
Yep.
I really made sure of that because, one, I'm not going to micromanage people.
Mm-hmm.
If you're vetted, if you know what you're doing, you can just come on set and do what you've been asked to do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to say anything, or I shouldn't. And of course, there are a lot of people who say, yeah, but it's my baby. This is my project, and they want control over it. But the beauty of this was because of that dance that you just talked about, I started happily relinquishing and starting just to allow it to not be mine anymore. Mm-hmm. You know, I think that's a really important thing that I learned in this whole process, was just to let it happen as it will happen.
Yeah, that's tough.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It's really tough. You know, you want it to be a certain thing and you have a certain image in your mind.
Yeah.
But then you talk to very talented people who know how to make those things, and sometimes the translation changes, or there's other things that you want to have happen, but you don't have the budget for it, or you don't have the time to make it happen, or you try to make it happen, but it doesn't look the way you thought it would. And so you have to just kind of let those expectations go. It's like in our acting class.
Yeah.
A lot of times we have that idea of what we want the scene to be like, and then we get into it and it's like, oh, it's not working.
But you find a lot of sometimes better things.
You find better.
Yeah.
And that's what I found. Sure, it didn't happen exactly how it happened in my head for every single scene. Some parts, yeah, I was able to build that, and Danny was like, yeah, we can make that happen. But then when it wasn't working, we wound up making something even better.
Yep.
So
that's cool.
That's what I was very happy about.
Yeah, that was another thing I was going to ask you, because that is, everybody does that different. The actor, director, actor, producer, whatever that combo is of a project. That's something I've struggled with our show. Yeah. Because I think I want to step on just as an actor. That's what I want. I'm at the point now where we have a great crew, and the other two guys on the team are not as production people as I am, but they're talented comedians. Rob is a stand-up guy who's constantly has his eye on the joke and the story, and Rich is almost to a fault. He's like, I need a punchline. I'm like, we don't need a punchline. It's literally in the show.
That's interesting.
And then Rich is a sound guy, so technically he's all over, obviously, any of the sound stuff. We all take part in the direction of everything. We're always constantly working together. So collaboratively, that's cool. Yeah. But as you know, there's just so much that goes into a scene. There's so much detail. There's so much that needs to happen. Yep. And if it's a human-based thing like makeup or hair or wardrobe or you just some prop that like somebody is in control of, they've got to ask you questions. So they're going to be constantly pulling you out of whatever actor spot you want to be in and being like, you have to answer this very real question right now. So that's something I've definitely struggled with the show, and I don't think there's an answer to it other than money. It's like,
it helps.
Well, yeah, it helps. We're at a certain point with our show where we have a budget, and we're psyched about that. But it's not like a huge budget where we just got like all the positions filled that we need, and I can just walk on and just be like, I'm playing this dumb character today, and everything else has been set out.
Well, to be said, it wasn't like I walked on set and I didn't have to answer a single question.
Sure.
Of course there were little things that would come up, and then I would have to step in and be like, okay, let's try this. Let's do this. Okay. I remember in one of the scenes, we had to stop because we heard a leaf blower. It was so loud.
Just once?
I mean,
that happens every scene.
Well, yeah, but it was just like it was near the front of the building, and so you could hear the whole street for some reason. You don't necessarily hear it when you're just
there are no leaves in
LA. There are no leaves
I
in
think
LA.
These guys walk around with leaf blowers. They're trying to get paid off. Like, I feel like there's a whole
conspiracy
business there.
Well, that's what we had to do. I asked one of the associate producers to like run out there and like give him some money to like, hey, can you like not do this for like 45 minutes?
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah, that was a whole part of our budget, paying off the dumb sound that's around us. It's
Yeah.
like, there's got to be money for that. Every single time there's something.
You always have to budget in like a contingency.
Yeah.
Just like, something's going to happen.
Yeah.
You know? Or like, hey, the food we got isn't right, so we have to buy new food. Or just like something. There's always something. It's like, oh, we need an extra thing. Can you run to the store and get that?
Yeah. Always something. That's what I love about production.
Right.
I honestly, I found that, because I started in camera work and then learned editing and grew in both of those fields to a pretty high level. And then I've done some PA work and I've done some AC work on bigger and bigger sets, and then got on more and more sets as a DP, and then like being in more control of the picture, and then some directing. And I found I could speak all the languages. And what it is at the end of the day is like, oh, it's so much fun to try and piece together this chaos. This is a puzzle that's happening in real time. It's like an escape room. And I'm like, I got to figure this out. And I enjoy that. My brain, for some reason, does well with that. So I love that about production. And it's like, it's also the same as acting or going into an audition, which one of my teachers told me once, like, every audition is a street fight. You don't know what's going to happen in a street fight. There are no rules, and I find that the same in going into a day for any scene, especially our insane comedy scenes. It's like, I have no idea what's going to happen today. I'm totally open to whatever it is because I trust the guys around me that we're just going to find the funny. Yeah. And it's going to be wild. It's going to be insane. And by the end of it, I'm going to be sweating. I'm going to be like just crawling into my car at the end of the evening, just trying to make it to In and Out before 1, and it's going to be awesome. I love that. I think that's like my fun today.
First of all, I'm really scared to ever see you in an audition now.
Yeah, right.
You're gonna come in with like teeth and like
brass knuckles,
just like a knife and shit. I'm like, oh shit, oh god,
yeah.
Okay, this is audition PK. But no, the problem solving aspect of it, to be able to take something that seems chaotic and be like, no, we have that. That solves it. And it's such a rush.
Yeah.
And then when you have a product at the other end of that,
exactly,
and you get to go, oh yeah, all those problems that we solved, we made that.
Yeah, there it is.
That's it.
And that, I think, that's something I'm figuring out for me in my production journey, because I really enjoy that. I really enjoy directing. Acting is my love, though. I really love acting, and to really do it at my best, I need to alleviate myself of that side of things as much as I can. When I have walked onto set as just an actor, as just a person living a life, first of all, that was a huge wake-up call in my life. The very first time I walked on to a show where everything else was taken care of, and I didn't have to worry about. I found myself like having to stop myself a few times because my brain's just going there. Like I see a camera problem that I know how to fix. It happens to be my camera, and I'm like, I know that camera very well. I'm like, okay, well, no, wait, no, that's
not my set.
That's not my lane right now.
No,
and it was a training, but it was also beautiful because I was like, oh, I get to use all my time and energy right now on the moment that's coming up.
It's a blessing,
and it's just so much more for me. It's like I'm just so fully immersed and not distracted, and my full brain is in this moment.
I love that.
Also, I'm pulling my brain out of it so I don't think, but
right.
Yeah,
that's the weird duality. So first of all, we didn't even start like talking about what is the show that you've done. Why don't you talk just like a little intro about that.
So the Red Rob Roy Show, which is a terrible title. Nobody can ever remember it, so don't worry that you don't. I'll say it 3 more times before the end of this. Exactly. It's a comedy show with me and 2 of my good friends who are also from Connecticut. I didn't meet one of them, Rich, until I came out to LA, but I knew Rob in Connecticut. So it's Red, I'm Red, Rob Puglisi, and Rich Roy, Red Rob Roy. And it started with me and Rob making some sketches. We were working at the same restaurant at the time, both in comedy. I had camera work and editing work. I'm like, let's do some sketches.
Yeah.
And that was, I think, like 6 years ago. Our first sketch, which will make it into the show, was like 6 years ago. just kept making sketches and just putting them out on YouTube, sharing them with our friends, not like with any real goal of anything, just sort of like, we love this, we're making funny stuff and we're putting it online. Rich, who is a sound guy in the TV world, was like, hey, I want to be a part of this, I'll come do the sound. And we're like, okay. He's also a writer, so he came up with a lot of great ideas. We kept just making sketches. The way the show came to be was, I want to remember the order. I think first I was on a film called The Warlock's Curse. I met this producer of this film, Tim Somerville, which is an interesting story. I got this role. I auditioned for it. I got the role. I missed the email from him giving me the role. For some reason, I never miss emails.
I remember you saying this, but yeah, keep going.
I got one of those 4-day later notice. Do you want to respond to this thing?
Follow-up,
yeah. And I was like, oh my god. And it was like, you got the part. And I was like, yes, okay. And by the time I reached out to him, he was like, hey, sorry, you never got back to me. We gave it to somebody else. I was like, great. So I just sort of like had a panic attack and like was depressed for a few days. And long story short, he reached out again and he was like, hey, I see you're also a camera guy. We're looking for a DP. Can you send me your reel? He liked my reel. Long story short, I got the job to shoot the film. Another long story short, I got the role back because the role didn't work out for whoever he had, which I think was Michael Madsen at one point. So I like to tell people the lie that I beat Michael Madsen out to get this role. And so we shot that. We worked together. He really enjoyed my work as a filmmaker and also an actor. And he kept hitting me up. He's like, hey, do you have anything else? Because he's trying to build his production house, and he's trying to build a library of media. He's like, do you have anything else? You want to shoot another film? Do you have any scripts that are lying around that you want to shoot? I'll fund it. And I had some things, and I sent him some things.
Nice.
I know, it's like the one thing you want to hear. It's
Yeah.
like, you're never prepared for that statement. You're like,
what do you have? I have money.
Yeah,
I'm like,
hold my
what?
beer. I'll be right back. I have a million things. I did have a few scripts. I did have a few things. I did send him some things that he was just like, meh. And then I was like, I just sort of thought like, hey, I have this comedy show. In the back of my mind, I was like, no one will ever be interested in this. It's extremely dark comedy and like very rough. And he's like, let me see it. And so literally just took a bunch of the sketches and just like edited them together for a pilot episode. This was during COVID. So we shot sort of this interstitial of each sketch through line story of us selling a TV show over Zoom. We literally shot it over Zoom. Like they were in LA, I was in San Marino, and we just recorded on Zoom, edited together, and had this little 30-minute episode. And he was like, yeah, let's do it. We're like, okay. Now we have a show.
Other questions?
Yeah, right. And so he was willing, he gave us a budget. It wasn't like a crazy budget, but I, being a person who have all the gear and I can edit everything, was able to keep like production costs incredibly low. So really all the money was going towards locations, actors, and the rest of the crew that we needed for each scene.
Nice.
And we shot 2 episodes. So we were going episode by episode. We got the first episode done. He got it, took it. It went on Amazon and Tubi. And then we did the second one, same thing, Amazon and Tubi. And then he's like, we're interested in finding larger distribution, a distribution deal. So he took it. Literally, I handed him whatever. I made him sort of like a media package of everything. And I sent it to him right before I went on vacation to Maine. I go every year. And so I was expecting, like, maybe weeks later we would figure some out, like some learnings. The next day, he calls me on my way up to Maine. He's like, I got a deal. I'm like, what? Yeah, he found right away. And they were like, we love this. We just need a full season, of which we had 2 episodes. So we're like, okay.
Let's get cooking. Let's go.
Exactly. So then it was like, okay, it was go time. It was go time to film what we were back and forth on what we were actually going to shoot, but we landed on 5 episodes. There's a possibility that we split the last one into 2 and there's 6, but They needed 5 minimum for a season.
Yeah.
So we were like, be right back. And we're at the point now, we finished production. We're in the can with everything. We have 5 episodes.
Beautiful.
And we're in post-production, which is me in my apartment for the next month or so, just going crazy, drinking a bunch of espresso and cutting this thing together. But I've been editing along the way, so there's a lot done. But yeah,
It's a lot. Editing's so much work.
it's so much. It's I'm literally sitting there with 2 huge Akishio bays of 26 terabytes of footage, and it's just like, okay, like,
Yeah.
luckily I have rough cuts of everything, but I gotta figure it out. So yeah, that's gonna be, at least it's a controlled environment. I don't have to find a location, I don't have to spend
Right.
any more money. All the money we spend
You're
will be
there.
on either like stock footage or whatever
Yeah.
graphics we need, but it's just a matter of doing it at this point. Yeah, getting it all put together, and
Good.
we'll see. We're going to go back to that same distribution deal, figure it out, see if they're interested still, see if they are the best deal for us. But in my head, if that came so quickly, I feel like I want to start taking this pitch around.
Yeah.
I really want to see what else is out there. Obviously, it's a crazy time for the industry. So
Yes.
I've been talking to a lot of other directors. I'd love to hear your opinion on it. Like, what kind of conversations they're having in this moment. Is it like, hey, we obviously need content, so let's talk? Or is it like, hey, things are too weird right now, so we can't spend any money, so don't even bother?
Yeah.
It could be literally one of those two extremes.
Well, you also have to think about the larger scope of it as well. The court of the general masses. If they hear that you're taking meetings with who's or what's it, you don't want to. You have a product and you want to be able to show it, but you have to make sure that you're not seen as a scab.
Absolutely.
I know I'm in the same weird spot too. I just had my premiere of my film last night, and I had to make sure that SAG allowed the actors to come to the premiere. Because of this writer strike, because of the SAG strike, the promotion is not allowed of any kind. We got the green light from SAG just because of our agreement. The festival, we talked with them. They have no connection or sponsorship from any AMPTP company, so we were all good on that. But also, I've talked with people about it. I'm in this film festival circuit right now. What if somebody comes to me and be like, hey, I'd love to have a general meeting with you about your project and what your goals are with it, but they work for one of these struck companies, or they have affiliation with a potential situation, and part of me is like, yes, that's like exactly, this is like a perfect opportunity, like nothing's getting made, and here's some IP that's already been written, and I have a couple episodes written for it as well, so we can make this into a thing. But then at the same time, it's like, well, this is also a people business.
Yeah.
How do you, okay, maybe I don't take meetings until the strike is over and I just showcase it. But then you're running the risk of interest waning.
Right.
Because as soon as that engine starts to turn again,
Right.
all those deals. But then that could be still an opportunity. So I think for me, and this is so much of what Sandpaper is all about, are you doing it for, what are you doing it for, is what I ask myself. Are you doing it for the notoriety, the prestige, the money, or are you doing it because you love doing it?
Yeah.
And I think if you do the latter, if you do it because you love doing it, it will all get figured out.
Yeah. I think you're right.
With every little thing in life, it's not just about big deals and big projects. I remember the theater got sold out. It was sold out earlier this week on the website.
Awesome.
And which was a great problem to have. But of course, I was getting messages from cast and crew being like, I didn't get my ticket. I need to go. And so I'm like scrambling around and be like, okay, I bought some extra. Like, does anyone have any extras? Oh, somebody can't come. I'll take that ticket. And I'm like, I'm like trying to figure out a way to like, steal and barter and like make deals or something in order to get my people into this theater. And I'm like stressing out. And then yesterday morning, they had a couple extra seats that are available to purchase.
Nice.
And I was like, that solved my problem.
There it is.
If I just said nothing, everything would have gotten solved anyway. Like I had to put myself through the ringer just to try to, all that effort was for nothing.
Yeah.
And so to say that all this work of trying to get seen and trying to do something, a lot of times it was going to happen anyway.
Yeah.
Either happen or not happen anyway. So you kind of have to be able just to do it because you love doing it.
Yep.
And you make this best product that you're proud of, and then you just let it go.
Yeah. I always think of that scene in Indiana Jones where Sean Connery says that. He's like, I'm just going to sit in this chair. Mm-hmm. And then the chair reveals the secret staircase.
Exactly.
Yeah. I love that.
Exactly. And I think that that's just a metaphor.
Yeah.
I think for so many things, just do what you really like to do.
Yeah.
What set your soul on fire.
I think it's a good mindset in this position for people specifically like us, who would die for a general or any meeting with an actual studio about our project, and like I don't want to be a scab either. Like
right.
I'm not bringing this project.
We were both on the picket lines. Like,
yeah,
we're
right.
We're not trying to do anything.
No,
stupid.
We're on the right side here, and I think, and like I don't know, I am by no means like extremely experienced in this industry, but I am immersed, and my feeling is like everyone on those picket lines, no one wants everyone's projects to stop. Nobody wants that. We want, like, I have friends who are about to, like, right before this happened, we're in a great position for some really big projects that are now on hold. And it's like, I want that. I want that to happen for them.
Yeah.
We all want that to happen for each other. That's what's great about the community.
Yeah.
So like, we clearly are not scabs when we're going to, if we had the opportunity to do something. Like, I would take that mentality with me,
Yeah.
If lightning struck and I had a conversation with Netflix and they were like, hey, we're going to take your project right now. We love it. We're going to give you this much money. It's not going to be enough. And you're basically only in here because you're screwing everybody else. Like, if that were the conversation, I would not be interested at all.
Well,
but if I had an opportunity to talk with somebody at one of these studios and they're like, hey, here's the industry right now. Here's what's going on. Here's what we think about your project. Here's a conversation about your project. I don't think anybody on that picket line would like not want that for me, You just have to make sure. You just have to make sure that. Well, for me, if I had Netflix, emailing me or calling me to schedule a meeting, I would honestly be like, I honestly can't talk until the strike is over. Interesting. Okay. I would, but I am very interested in getting to know you. Yeah, that. Yeah. But like, I'm not talking about my project, about a deal, about any business. Yeah, nothing's happening. I mean, nothing is happening. And I would make that very clear. Anyway. Yeah. Because word travels very quickly. Yeah. So-and-so talked to so-and-so. Oh, I heard that you had a meeting with so-and-so. Right. What is that about? And then all of a sudden, everyone starts thinking about what happened. And so just to try to kind of nip that in the butt, just be like, I'm not talking business. I'm not doing anything right now. But if you want to start learning about my project and you want to talk after all this, abso-freaking-lutely. Yeah, absolutely. And like, I honestly, like, I'm not worried about that happening for me, but I just keep that mentality as I'm about to step into this lane, and honestly, we have a month or two before the project's even ready to be seen. So that's good. You're in a good spot. Who knows where we'll be at that point. I think also it's a good time for privately funded projects to be made. Yeah. And no one's saying don't do those. Yeah, and it's not like all production has stopped. Yeah.
Like, I was on a non-union commercial just the other week.
Yeah.
You know, and everyone's talking about, like, you know, like, sure, there's a strike, but, like, there's a lot more industry still happening.
Yeah. The non-union stuff is happening, and that's not being a scab.
No, that's not being a scab.
That's just...
And even some SAG contracts are still okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard that. I don't know. I haven't seen any, but I've heard that.
Like, you can get waivers. You can do it really, like, as long as you're communicating well, and this goes to anything. If you're communicating well with all parties,
right,
and you are not trying to screw somebody over,
right,
like, sure, maybe you have to put your project on hold, but then something else is still able to shoot. You know, that you can still make things work.
Yeah. SAG, actors, people in the industry, all want people to still pay their bills.
Absolutely.
It is only the execs that really care about you not being able to pay your bills. That's the whole deal.
Yeah,
Everyone else wants you to be able to pay your bills.
Yeah. Well, I think, again, I think it all goes back to perspective. And my issue with this whole strike is I have a hard time having a real definite opinion about something if I don't hear both sides clearly.
Sure.
And what I'm concerned about and raises a lot of red flags is one side of this we don't hear anything from. We might hear like a statement, like a couple sentences, or a quote-unquote leaked conversation. But it's really like 99% of what is being talked about from that whole side is not known by anybody. But you hear 100% of the other side.
And that's telling to me.
Right, it's telling. It tells you something, but at this and at the same time for me, I'm like, well, shit, like, what are they really thinking?
I think, yeah, I mean...
You know, it tells me something, but also it doesn't tell me other things.
Yeah.
And so I'm at a point now where it's like, well, I only hear this. This is all I hear. This one side. And I just want everybody to survive.
I think that's the whole PR portion of
part of it.
Of a debate, of a strike.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, get your information out there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the side that is coming from a place of truth is happy to get their stuff out there. The side that's hiding something
right.
And the side that's hiding something isn't, you know. And for me, all the information I need is a couple of things I've seen. One is like the percentage of the highest revenue earner of whatever studio's salary was like a 0.01. I don't know what they were. It was like a 1/10% cut in that would solve the contract. Yeah. Like the tiniest in their tiniest fraction of the money that they're earning would solve the contract. The other day, a writer posted his revenue check of a penny. Yeah. For a show.
I know so many people who get residuals of like cents.
Yeah. And we're literally talking about that writer of the show earning pennies of the revenue, and this one human person at this studio earning a portion of $1 billion. Like, that's the disparity. Yeah. And so that's all the information I need. And I think that's why we're not hearing from that side. Yeah. Because literally, and we've heard this, they're saying, we're just going to wait them out until they're losing their houses. That's all the information I need to know.
Well, joke's on them, because most people in LA don't own houses.
And we're very familiar with being homeless, so we will write under bridges.
Exactly.
Like, there's beautiful stories to be had under those bridges.
I know. Like this apartment can easily hold 5 people.
Yeah, right.
Right, 5 writers.
Do it.
Working like
that would be awesome.
Like a part-time job.
A writing camp.
I mean,
heck yeah.
Like, 1 bed there, probably like 2 or 3 beds. People in here,
dude. We can make it like boho New York again, like Brooklyn. We're all just like drinking wine. And
this area
orgies.
is kind of like Brooklyn.
It is.
It's kind of like Brooklyn.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's really interesting. Like, you know, you're just sitting there and like. I remember I sit on the stoop almost every morning with coffee.
Dude, you do stoop stuff?
I stoop stuff.
Oh, stoop is awesome.
And
that's so New York.
And I sit there and I know everybody on the block walking their dogs.
That's awesome.
Like going to synagogue. Like I know I see everybody.
Are there any good Jewish delis around here?
It's never going to be like New York.
No, it's never going to be.
But I mean, right here it's great because you have a kosher market blocked that way.
Mm-hmm.
You got like this whole strip. This is a lot of Jewish neighborhood.
Oh, I saw them.
a lot of
it's Saturday, so they're
Orthodox,
out.
and they're all out, and,
Yeah.
and it's really nice because people aren't partying at 2 a.m. around here.
Nice.
The weekends are like real chill.
Nice.
That's
cool.
Like nobody's like going crazy, and it's really nice. I really like it around here.
Nice. Yeah, it seems like a great area.
Yeah.
Yeah, the best Jewish deli in my experience out here is in Palm Desert.
Palm Desert.
Yeah, Sherman's. It's excellent.
Okay, how long is this drive though?
Just a hair under 2 hours from here, I think.
I mean, if it's legit.
It's, dude, I'm telling you, that's the best Reuben I've had in LA. Yeah.
Is it still LA County?
No, but I'm just like calling it. It's
LA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the SoCal. It's the best.
Yeah.
For sure.
Have you been to Cantor's?
I have. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
It's a classic.
Yeah.
That's like
you gotta go.
You go there first,
right.
No matter what.
You gotta go.
It's a scene. There's like we've done comedy shows there. There's music. Like it's cool.
Yeah.
Like,
I remember I went there once, and I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a respect thing.
Yeah.
I respect that.
Exactly.
Place.
Exactly. Where's some other places? The Apple Pan.
Oh, the Apple Pan's so good.
I wish I could say it was so good.
You don't like it?
When I ate it, I got a burger.
Okay.
And then I got a slice of pie afterwards.
Okay, you got to go back and get the tuna melt.
Tuna melt.
You got to go back and get the tuna melt.
Damn. I just remember, like, I did not feel great after eating that. No.
Okay, I didn't have the burger, so I don't know.
Also, like, I had a really hardcore workout right beforehand. So maybe, like, I, like, hit, like, a big dump.
Yeah, I'm going to blame the workout, not the Apple Pan. I'm going to go ahead and do that and stand up for the Apple Pan.
Go ahead. Tuna melt.
But like that old diner setup sitting at the bar, I loved it. Yeah.
I loved it. And you get to see everybody.
Do you want the best of that?
Give it to me.
I'm going to get it wrong. I always get it wrong. It's one or the other. It's pie and burger or burger and pie. I think it's pie and burger. No, I think it's burger and pie. It's one of those two.
Nice.
In Pasadena.
Burger and pie.
Awesome old,
pie
like this place hasn't been touched since the 70s. You go, they have the old medical sinks in the bathroom where you like use your knee to turn it on.
Oh, sweet.
And all the stools look like they haven't been touched in the 70s. You go there, you get the burger and pie deal. The burger is a great classic burger. Tastes amazing. The selection of pies is awesome. Homemade whipped cream.
Sweet.
Go to Burger and Pie or Pie and Burger.
How much is it? Is it an arm?
Dude, I'm one of those people that never looks at prices and like.
I'm the same until I'm there, and then I'm like,
I'm an idiot.
I'm here once.
I'm just like, take my money. It's I would say, the Pie and Burger deal. I'm gonna guess like 14. I don't know.
Okay,
something around there.
That's not bad.
It's reasonable. It's
for
reasonable.
LA.
Another cash place.
Yeah.
So bring cash.
Bring cash.
Yeah.
I'm really a taco truck guy as well. When I moved out here, I was surprised.
No shortage of that.
No, but also there's some really good ones near here too.
Nice.
I go to El Chato on like Olympic and La Brea.
Cool.
Yeah, there's Leo's. There's a lot of different places, but there's a lot of great food out here.
I'm so excited to be back in LA.
Yeah,
dude, I am the biggest foodie. I am like. And there was food out where I was in Redlands and even up the mountain in Lake Arrowhead. There's places, but it's just there's nothing compares. It's so awesome.
Is there a place that you really want to go? You haven't gone yet
in LA?
In LA,
it's probably one of those like super fancy ones you have to be on a waiting list for like 6 months for. I've never been to Bestia. I've never been to. Isn't like French Laundry out here? Or is that San Fran?
I think.
I forget where that is.
I don't know.
I'd like to go there.
Nobu.
Yeah, I've never been there. All the really fancy ones.
All the fancy ones. You don't do the fancy ones.
But like, dude, honestly, my favorite spots are hole in the wall places
Yeah.
that like you'd skip over on Yelp.
Right.
You know?
Or you walk past and it's like, I would never
Yeah,
go there.
it's in like a mini mall thing.
Yeah.
You'd never know.
Yeah.
It was amazing. That's what's
I
cool.
go on YouTube all the time and I'm watching clips of just like places to go in LA.
Nice.
And I kind of just like do a little bit of research, or like I go there and I'm like,
that's it.
this is
Then
it.
we need to talk, because I suck at research, and
Yeah?
the only reason I benefit from these places is because I have friends who are good at research.
Nice.
And I'm just like, tell me where to go, and I'll go.
Honestly, for me, I look at pictures.
Okay, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And especially if it's like, you know, like a Chinese or like you know, some place where you can tell like the people running it are like first generation.
Yeah.
Like
Legit.
like their grandma's recipe.
Yeah.
They're doing that thing. And you kind of see it, and you walk in there and you just see it's like, you know, the grandson is doing homework in the one booth, and like, you know, it's like the cousins are like serving you, like you're like, oh yeah, this is gonna be good.
Exactly.
You know, and like this, like you know it's good when you have the menu, and they like white out or like put tape over the old price and they put the new price on it because they don't want to do another laminated menu. You go, oh, this is gonna be good.
Yeah.
You can just tell as soon as you walk in.
Yeah. All the energy is going into the food.
Yeah.
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 I don't care about service. I care it's like somewhat clean, but just the food. That's what I care about.
The food. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so we need to.
Yeah.
We need to do this.
Yeah, exactly.
For
We'll
sure.
do this.
For sure. What are you working on anything else now?
Honestly, all my efforts are going towards the show. I have a feature film that I was in It was 2 years ago that is being delayed, coming out, called Persona. I'm very excited for that. It's like a psychological thriller film that was just so fun to make in Mystic, Connecticut. So that might be coming out this year. But yeah, the Red Rob Roy Show, you're going to forget it. I don't care. I'm sorry. Is hopefully going to be wrapping up in the next few months and then starting to come out there. You can follow us on at the Red Rob Roy Show on Instagram, or me, PK Simone, Rob Puglisi, Rich Roy Comedy, all on Instagram. We're all constantly promoting it. But yeah, all my efforts are going to be going towards that for the next few months.
Sweet.
I'll just be like over-indexing on caffeine and pie and burger and getting vastly out of shape to make this thing happen. So
yeah,
that's what I do.
get
I
out of
sacrifice
shape.
for my
Yeah.
love of the project. You know?
Another thing, I thought it was so cool when we first met, and this just goes into how small the world is. You know, I had a ballet career for about a decade, and when I first told you about that, you're like, oh, my parents. Yeah, your parents were both dancers, right?
Both dancers.
And your dad was an executive director.
Yeah, he became the executive director of the Hartford Ballet.
Hartford Ballet, yes.
Yep. So he went to Trinity in Hartford.
Cool.
And with Stephen Gyllenhaal, Jake Gyllenhaal's dad. He was in a movie of his at college. And there was a requirement for, I think it was like, you know, like a physical requirement for every student, and it was either like he could go like do a gym class, or ballet was an option for that school for some reason. And so he was like, be around a bunch of hot women in tights for sure. I'm gonna go do ballet.
That's what people don't understand.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, yeah, their chances are you might be like the only straight guy there. So there's a huge
even if not, like you're just like you're doing such cool stuff with your body, that you didn't even realize is possible. And then you see people who are like trained and can do it, and you're like, the body can do that.
It's awesome. And
then you see, like, especially for guys, what got me was when my mom took me to see a show. I was like 9 or 10 years old, of an all male company, and it wasn't like Trocadero, them trying to, you know, do something traditional. It was more of like a very athletic, like male dancing. It was the first time I saw that, and I went, oh. Yeah. And for me, being such like a physical, hyperactive child, like I was climbing the china cabinets at like 8 months old or stuff like that. I was just running around doing stuff. So much so that my mom had to put a jungle gym in our dining room. We didn't have a dining room. It was just like a jungle gym just because I was ripping around.
Nice.
So he was like, all right, this is Cam. This is. But anyway, good times. Back to what I was saying. So I saw this show of all men dancing, and I saw the physicality of it, and I went, that's so cool.
Yeah.
I want to do that.
Yeah.
And luckily my mom was able to find a boys scholarship program that was being taught by a principal of then the Pennsylvania Ballet,
Okay.
Bill DeGregory, and the rest is history.
That's cool.
And it was all guys, it was all boys.
Yeah.
That's
so cool.
And then you kind of build from there. But yeah, no, there's a lot of what people don't. I mean, you kind of mentioned this last night, that the male perspective in dance is not really known. It's seen, usually shown in one way.
Right.
And that's sure, that is part of it.
Yeah.
But there's a whole scope, there's a whole world that people don't know about.
Absolutely. And it was a very unique upbringing for me in that sense.
Bet.
I mean, I was running around the Bushnell in Hartford with dancers since that was my earliest memory.
Mm-hmm.
I was surrounded by, we were always hosting Russian dancers in my house. And I was like, they were like my aunts and uncles going to the store. And until I was old enough to start dancing, and it was just like, oh, this is the natural progression for any child. Like, you know, I'm in a studio, and I thought every kid was doing this. Yeah. And I thought every kid's parents were dancers, and until I grew old enough. And yeah, so very early on, I was same thing. I'm running, I'm jumping all day, and I'm super hyperactive, and this is an incredible outlet, and I'm just getting stronger and stronger and stronger the older I get. Yeah. And also I'm like around girls all the time, like, which was fun.
Who are also like fit,
like super athletic, and like
so.
Yeah. So I was simultaneously playing sports, and I was excelling in all these sports, and I look back on it. At 13, because of what I told you, Seaver's disease in my heel, I had to stop dancing, and so it just became soccer. I went on to have an incredible career playing in college and semi-pro.
Nice. Around
the world. It was, I look back on it, and it's like I was running faster and jumping higher than all the kids around me because I was training that way in dance, and I loved it. I had
technique.
I had technique. I had coordination. I had balance that more than anyone, and no other kids around me had that, and they would constantly they would call me Gumby because of the way my legs moved. I could bring a ball down from up here with my foot. Yeah. And
you're still upright.
And exactly. They're like, what is this?
I know. Sometimes I do stuff with my body, like not realizing who I'm with, and people are like, holy shit.
Right.
How'd you freaking weirdo?
Yeah.
Like I love it.
I loved it. And I remember as a kid, my mother was one of 4 girls and two boys. There's 6 of them. They all danced because my grandmother was a teacher. She taught ballet in Massachusetts and Cape Cod until her 70s.
Wow.
And I grew up in a house that was constantly watching dance, and we would all gather around the TV and watch dancers. This was before Dancing with Stars or any of those shows were out. We would just watch performances. Wow. And, I can just remember my grandmother being like, oh, her hands. Oh, look at her hands.
And she's doing something amazing.
Yeah, yeah. It's just, you could tell, though. Lines were so important. Movement was so important. And I had an eye for that, and I cared about that.
Yeah.
And that stuck with me, even past decades, or even past dance into sports. Movement, balance, all that details. Stuff. My dad is in his 70s, and he's still... That's his exercise. He does ballet in the morning.
Right. Nice.
And it's like, it was just always such a normal thing for me, but not the world, you know, especially in the 90s and the 80s. It's like, it's like, what are you doing? I grew up around gay men. Those were like my peers and also like my mentors.
Right.
And I just, was in a world around dancers and gay men, and I wasn't, but once the outside world of my ballet world found out about me dancing, because I was on the front page of the Hartford Courant, a picture at an audition. They took a picture, and then I got found out. I was outed.
You were outed.
My soccer friends were like, what's going on, you know? It's a weird thing to grow up. I almost quit soccer. My mom thankfully didn't let me. But like I was being bullied and I was being and it's like, you know, I wasn't a gay kid growing up being like having to deal with that. But I like understand it a little bit. Just that like questioning of you and like who you are and like so I grew up in
and
this
people
mentality.
poking at it like what,
Exactly.
like, hey,
Yeah.
you know,
kids are they're cruel and they don't understand. And I'm so glad I grew up on the other side of it, you know, almost on that side of it, just to be like why? Who cares?
Who gives
you know?
a shit?
Like I found myself like I have a strong love and like I have a strong compassion for kids that did grow up that way. I did see it. I didn't grow up that way, but I did see it firsthand. And it's like, what a dumb, cruel thing, you know? So that has shaped me. Ballet has shaped me in a way that I'm so grateful for, you know, both physically and mentally. And I don't think many kids, especially boys, grow up that way.
Right.
Just like outwardly compassionistic about everything and everyone and just, the love of the body.
Love
and
the
movement
body and taking care of it.
Yeah. I don't know about you, but it has definitely come through in my acting as well. You know, that center line.
I
of
see
body.
it. I see it. It's funny because I see you work.
Really?
I see you dance. And it's funny, I see you dance.
It is a dance.
But it is a dance. But I see you, and you have definitely a sense of your body. And I see, like, the facility that you have, and I see the training. And I, you know, sometimes I see you, like, turn, and you go into, like, turn out, and I'm like, oh, there it is. There it is. I see it. I know what, because I can sense it. I can feel it. But, you know, you... And I'm sure you would be great in like mocap as well.
I would be very interested in that.
You know, because just the way you use your body.
Yeah.
You know, it's like Annie would be like, you know, pick an animal or something like that, and you would just be like, you would just or change, and it'd be like, okay, and having that training from a young age gives you that mind body awareness so easily.
Yes.
And so you're able to just be like, boom. And because we've had to deal with all those details from a very young age, we're just able to jump into something where people, if they try to do it, it's like it's so foreign to them.
Yeah.
You know, you see the difference from somebody who has not only been physically active their whole life, but also has had some teachers like fine-tune movements and make them think about like your pinky toe or your thumb. Yeah. Or, you know, like most people don't think about it. It just happens.
Yep.
You know?
I'm sure
very cool.
I'm sure you've danced in front of large crowds, and I think that I often think because of that experience growing up, I was always in the Nutcracker.
Yeah,
being in front of 1,000 people in tights is just so vulnerable. It's so vulnerable.
It's vulnerable enough being on stage.
Exactly that, and then just like growing up doing these movements. It's like I don't even think about it now. It's like I'll be ugly in front of anyone, and it doesn't. I'm not thinking about how scared I am of that. Right. But if you didn't grow up that way, like I see that in people, they're like, it's like, hey, be ugly right now in your body and
do it wrong.
Like, it's just so counterintuitive,
you know, weird. Yeah.
But I find a beauty in that, you know, like just like allowing your body to be whatever.
Absolutely, because you know, in dance, you're doing such an awkward thing. Already, and then you have to do it in front of thousands of people. Yeah. You know, and then you know, it's just like any production, like things will go wrong. Yeah. And so how do you deal with that in the moment while you're completely exposed to all these people? How do you work with that? Yeah. God, I have so many stories that are coming to mind from my my dancing, and just, you know, things like shoes falling off and like tights ripping and like, you know, you know, dance belts and all this. And you're just like, oh, God, I got to deal with this.
The wardrobe was always just pinned together.
I remember so many quick changes in which I had to go from like a pedestrian kind of thing to being like, I'm a dancer with the tights and everything, and you're completely cold, and you're just like jumping into something, and you're like, okay, let's do this.
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah.
It really has shaped me as well.
Yeah.
And I think I take so much from that world into what I'm doing now, which I think why I'm able to problem solve the way I can, you know? Because I understand the duality of like the art and the commerce and the technique and the other people that have to do it. Like, you know, when you did the Nutcracker, there's wardrobe, there's set design, there's a stage manager, there's lighting, there's the ushers, there's there's so many other people. And you have to be able to work within that system and know that, hey, I have to do my job even if a light falls from, like, maybe the curtain might fall and they might fix it, but like in the moment you have to like deal with things. Yeah. And things are going to be out of your control.
Yeah. I was doing the party scene, and I was one of the party children. And you know, I don't know how your choreographer did it, but we had there's a part where one of the guests goes up to, I think, the maid or somebody, and they have a present in their hand, which is just a prop, a pretty hard box. Yeah. And she throws it up in the air like, woo, you know? Yeah. And it's like this scene that happens in the corner. And this one time, she threw it up in the air, and I'm supposed to be running around with the kids, and it hits me in the head. Oh. Like she threw it across the room, like, and this corner of this box hits me in the head. And I like remember seeing stars, and I didn't know what it was at the time. And I was just like,
how old were you?
Oh man, I was probably like 10, 11. And I'm like, I gotta keep going. Like, I don't know what happened, but I can't see anything. And like, exactly, stuff like that. It's all choreography. And it's, you at an early age, you learn like the show must go on.
Show must go on.
It's like fall into that moment, you know, fall on the mistake.
Oh my
and
gosh.
Just keep moving.
I remember I did a show once, and luckily there was only like a couple minutes left of the show. And whatever, for some reason, we didn't have an orchestra for this one. We had a recording. And the theater we were at, the entire like CD player like shut down. It just like done.
Dead. And
so we're in like midway doing the thing, like mid jump, and it would just cut, and it's just silence, and all you hear is the sounds of the feet. Okay. You know, that's all you heard, and we're just like, all right, 5, 6, 7,
right.
8, let's finish. And you know, things like that happen more than people realize.
Oh yeah.
Even at the highest levels. Right. This shit happens all the time.
Yeah, and sometimes they will never realize. That's the beauty of it.
But that's the beauty of it. Yeah. To a trained eye, you can see it.
Yeah, right.
It's just like in film.
Yep.
You know, you can tell like, oh, that cut didn't work. Oh, something happened there, so that's why they had to shift to that person. Or, you know, there's all sorts of editing magic you can do, but sometimes you can see why they chose what they chose. Yep. Because they didn't either have something, or they had too much of something, or they figured it out. Yeah. But anyway.
I said, I did not experience that in Sandpaper, and like I'm sure there were things, but like that was I really found it very for the viewer seamless, and it was really a beautiful piece. I was just so sucked in, and also your dancing was beautiful. Honestly,
thank you.
Like Thank you. I was saying to them, I was like, you know,
who's them?
Like Annie and Miho, everyone that came. Okay. I was like, I was preparing my lie. You know, I'm going to see a friend's short film who I've never seen their work before. I was you know, getting ready to say like how good it was when I didn't mean it, you know. But like I was so grateful that like 30 seconds in, I was like, oh my God, this is awesome. Like I don't have to lie. This is actually really good.
And I love that you came because you have such an appreciation for the craft.
Yeah.
So you knew more than most of the audience.
Yeah.
Of that world.
Yeah. I love seeing short independent stuff. I'm constantly on Vimeo. Yeah. You know, I'm very forgiving. I see something that is rough, very rough, and like I have no interest in just being holier than thou. I still want to see the story. I can maybe understand like, okay, the sound mix didn't go the way they wanted, but like I am critical, but I'm very compassionate. Like I'm
Yeah.
like, you are making film. This is awesome.
And we've all been there. We've all seen, we've all been in a piece, be like, man, I could have done that better. Or, hey, that sound didn't work. Or, if only we plugged that thing in, like
it's
something.
so much harder at that like the independent short level to really get there. Because sometimes like having the money, having the resources, having the people is the answer. With the experience, you don't always get that.
Right.
So like, make terrible crap right away. I don't care. That's great.
Just make it.
Tell a story. I'm all for it. You're gonna get better if you just keep doing it. We don't all have the eye and the ear at first.
Right.
But clearly your team did, and it
Dude.
was really a joy to watch.
I'm so glad that you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And you appreciate it, and it's only the beginning for both of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
more to come.
All right. Well, thanks so much for joining. Where can people find you?
p.k.simone on all the socials.
Nice. And you can find me at CameronAB123 on Instagram, and then CameronAB.com. There's all my other stuff there. But hey, thanks so much for coming in.
Dude, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Good stuff.